Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany Morgan, Head of Product at May, a digital health platform focused on maternal care for Black women. I live here in Atlanta with my husband and 3 children, and my background in product spans a multitude of industries, including education, sports, entertainment, and now healthcare. Overall, my career is about breaking down barriers, creating opportunity, and improving the lives of those who have historically been systematically and systemically oppressed and excluded. I'm so excited to be here at Women in Product 2022 and look forward to sharing my experience and advice for up-leveling your career by turning knowledge into action, or what I like to call practical learning. So, coming from a world of media and communications, working in product management, let alone technology, was not something I had really thought of until I had this aha moment while working as a marketer at an educational technology company, somewhere right in here. We were developing a product to help educators teach children how to build mobile applications, and our work was really inspiring. This led to a light bulb that inspired me to build my own product, found my own startup, and launch a consulting firm and set sail for a career trajectory I could have never imagined. But to go from being a multimedia journalist in a small market like Arkansas to launching the first ever workforce equity platform for crew members in Hollywood, to becoming the head of product at a digital health platform startup like May, took a skill that was more about will than ability. And it's a skill I now realize I picked up in my youth as a competitive basketball player. That skill was how to learn and apply immediately, transferring into the real world as how to turn knowledge into action. I'll tell you a story. My dad, who was a coach, would teach me a move. And the very next day, I would go into practice or a game and use that move against my opponent. Sometimes it would work perfectly. I would do my move and score a bucket. Other times I'd look a hot mess. And I'd be like, yeah, I need to get back in the lab, right? So what I didn't do was allow myself to get stuck on the fact that I hadn't practiced enough, or the fact that I wasn't known as this strong and really skilled ball handler, or the fact that the girls I played against were 2 to 3 years older than me. I just got moving and took action. It was messy, but there was continuous improvement that led to D1 college letters at the age of 12 and the opportunity to play at the collegiate level, even after having 6 knee surgeries. Story for another day. So, like improving your game in a competitive sport, like product management, life is experimental, and you can't learn without doing, or what I call practical learning. So the goal today is to share 3 immediate actions you can take to up-level your career. Action 1, roadmap your career like a product. Action 2, grow where you're planted. And action 3, play outside of your comfort zone. So before we jump into roadmap your career like a product, think about a project where you've created a strategy or roadmap. Go ahead, drop it in the chat. It could be any project. It could be an event. It could be a club that you're a part of while you were in school. It could be a girls' trip. Let us know. So when we talk about road mapping your career like a product, the challenge here is for you to take any product strategy or roadmap template and apply it to your life. Okay? Your life and career is so much like product management. That vision that you want to manifest, it doesn't necessarily change, but your strategy and goals, they might need to pivot as you go along, and we have to learn to embrace that. It's experimental and it's messy, but that's okay as long as you're active, moving with intention, and learning from your experiences. So towards the end of this, I'm going to share some resources with you, and that'll include my product strategy template that I like to use. I promise you all, it's really basic. I don't get real fancy. I love the working backwards press release template, known to be used by Amazon. And it's really cool for this exercise when you think about your career and where you want to be and that vision. Think about, where you're looking to be 3 to 5 years and write a press release about your career, what would that look like? And then in terms of a roadmap template, again, you don't need a fancy template. I'm going to share some with you, but just type your high level strategic milestones per quarter on a plain document and be done. When I think about vision, I think, okay, the vision 3 to 5 years. Where do I want to be 3 to 5 years? From a strategy standpoint, let's create that strategy for year one, just this year, and then roadmap by the quarter and keep it simple. Action number 2, grow where you're planted. Let that sink in for a second. Grow where you're planted and be who you want to be today. Grow where you're planted and be who you want to be today. You don't need the job title. You don't need the degree. You don't need a boot camp to be who you want to be today. If your goal is to move from one function, sales, customer success, product marketing, into product management, be a product manager today. If your goal is to move into more of a leadership or executive level role, be an executive today. Every day, approach your work as if you're already in that role. And we're going to unpack this a little bit more by going over these 3 points. So when we're talking about growing where you're planted, we want to talk about how to find and create opportunities, how to find your community, and again, how to make sure you're learning and applying. Okay. So let's talk about how we want to find and create opportunities by using a couple of examples. Example number 1 is, let's say you want to transition into product management. There are some very key aspects to working in a product management role, right? You have user research, strategy development, roadmap planning. In your current role, look for opportunities to conduct research, develop strategies, and start taking a roadmap planning approach to project management. When I first learned about how product and the engineering team leveraged roadmaps for managing their work, I was really intrigued and I thought it was brilliant. And I started utilizing or taking a more so road mapping approach to how I manage my marketing and program initiatives. As a marketer, I conducted user research. I sat in on customer and sales calls to start really understanding the customer beyond messaging, how to speak to them, but really understanding their pain points and how we could better solve their problems with our product. And I started submitting ideas to the product team. So this is something you should try. Try it. Some of your ideas may actually come to life. And let's look at example number 2, moving into leadership. Take on projects that allow you to grow and polish your cross-functional leadership chops. Take the opportunity to mentor newer product managers on your team if you're already in product management. Another example is when I was a sole marketer at a young startup, I created an internship program. And I ended up actually hiring and managing 2 of those interns that were a part of that program. So that's an example of being able to create an opportunity that actually helped me gain experience in people management, right? And so that's a really great one. If your company doesn't have an internship program and that may be something that they want to do, raise your hand, volunteer to take that on. If there's already an internship program, see how you can get involved, right? And so the point of this is those are some ways you can find and create opportunities in your current role. Another thing is to look for opportunities to volunteer or take on side hustle gigs to help others while you're honing your own skills. And this really depends on your life. For me, I always felt like when I did something, for the most part, the way it's set up, I have 3 kids, and everything is expensive. So for me, I'm like, okay, I don't know about volunteer. I did where I could and when I could. But for the most part, I started with low paying gigs. When I say low paying, I'm like $50 an hour, not crumbs, to help startup owners with their business, really heavily in product and marketing strategies. And the more I worked with startup owners, the better I got, the more I was able to help them successfully launch and grow their businesses, and the more confidence I gained and success I achieved. So look for opportunities to volunteer and take on side hustle gigs. And then find your community. There are Slack, Facebook, Discord communities galore for you to join. Get in there and learn, connect, and support other people. Why are communities important? Today, communities are like the best way for networking. That is modern day networking. And not to say that, and I'm specifically talking about like these online communities, not to say that in person interaction isn't important. That is still important, but take some of these connections you're making online offline, right? And so when you join these communities, you almost immediately grow your network by the hundreds. People are constantly sharing knowledge, some of which you can learn and apply immediately. And you get a firsthand seat to opportunities that can advance your career, job opportunities, learning opportunities, speaking opportunities, all kinds of opportunities to network and connect with people. Take advantage of that. I'm going to be sharing some communities that I'm involved with that I love towards the end of this. But if you have communities that you're a part of, please share, drop them in the chat. Let's help each other. Let's create some community right here. And by the way, Women in Product has a Slack and Facebook group. You should join if you haven't already. Just a quick plug for the people that brought us together today, but that's another community that I'm a part of. Make sure you get in there. And then learn and apply. What are some ways that you like to learn? Think about that. But I don't want you to think when I'm talking about action and being practical that you don't learn. Please learn. Attend the conferences, events, workshops, listen to the podcast, read the books, whatever works best for you. Get a coach or a mentor, whatever you need to do that. However, don't get stuck in this forever cycle of taking in knowledge without applying. Action number 3, play outside of your comfort zone. This is a big one. Apply for jobs you don't 100% qualify for and challenge yourselves to do things you've never done before. About to go on a quick rant here. Men apply to jobs when only meeting 60% of the qualifications, 60%. Women apply only if we meet 100% of them. I know some women that want to meet 110% of them, meaning all the qualifications and some. If you meet all of those, you're probably overqualified for that opportunity. And if you meet all the qualifications, how is that next opportunity actually going to advance your career if you're only doing the same things you've already done? So challenge yourself to make what I call stretch moves. Give yourself the opportunity to learn and grow in your new role. If every new role you take on presents new challenges and the opportunity to perfect new skills, you're giving yourself a chance at growth and you're giving yourself to earn while you learn. What's better than making money while you're learning a new skill, while you're advancing your career? Okay? Please. And then lastly, challenge yourself. And I'm just going to let that sink in. Think of ways that you could challenge yourself. Challenge yourself by doing things that you haven't done before. Make a habit of that. For me, one of those things was speaking at larger conferences and events. And here I am. Yes, this is my first time speaking at an event this size. Oh my gosh. Like, by the way, don't forget to leave feedback and be honest. And to tell the truth, I struggled putting this together. I wanted to give up and say, never mind, multiple times, but I pushed myself to do it anyway. I literally was getting ready to email Rachel and team at Women in Product and be like, hey, you know what? Maybe next year. But word to Nike, I decided to get my stuff together and just do it. Okay. Make a habit of pushing yourself to do those things. So I can't challenge you to do these things if I don't challenge myself. So here I am in the flesh practicing what I preach. And then, in the chat, if you have anything that you're looking to challenge yourself to do this year, let us know. Let's see if we can get some accountability partnership going. What are you looking to challenge yourself to do? And then the last thing I will say, this is not one of the 3 actions, but definitely enjoy the process, right? as you're doing and you're moving with intention, make sure you enjoy the process. So I'm going to leave you with 2 tips about enjoying the process. Don't settle for roles that make you unhappy and disrupt your life. And 2, make time to rest and restore. For me, this year, it's about taking at least one vacation or break every quarter. Make sure you set that boundary with yourself. And then to sum it all up, what this talk is really about and what I really wanted to leave you with today is success doesn't happen overnight, and there is no exact blueprint to achievement. So don't get stuck where you're planted. Looking for a blueprint, get moving, turn your knowledge into action immediately, act with intention, and be prepared to embrace change and pivots along your journey. Okay. And so before we roll out, I just want to give you a few resources. I want to show some good Southern hospitality representing for my folks in the South and in Atlanta. Shout out to anybody out there that can relate. I have some free resources on the left. I'm going to share with you my favorite product strategy templates. And then here are some of the communities that I'm a part of that I think are really great. If you're Black in tech, Black product managers, Slack group, Sister Circle, Black Women in Tech Facebook group. If you're looking for a job, Black Tech Pipeline is a great place. Other groups that I'm in, Women Who Code, I'm in the ATL group. I love them. Chick Tech, my former employer, a wonderful organization. They have wonderful events for you to join. Women in Product, of course, Slack, Facebook, and events, and then Product School. I love their AMAs if you ever get a chance to be a part of those. And then some of the paid resources over here to the right, resume and career coaching. If you're looking for a product coach, Blair Presley is amazing, especially if you're looking to transition into product. And then if your email is dry and these employers aren't hitting you back, talk to my girl, Javonda Harrison over at Kinetic In-Demand Solutions. They're really great in terms of helping you revamp your resume. Here are a few books I like. I'll just call out Badass, Making You Just Awesome by Kathy Sierra. It's really great. Supportive Accountability by Sylvia Molina for leadership. And for me, I always like books that are inspirational. So Black Fortunes by Shamari Willis. It's a great book. And it talks about the first 6 African Americans that escaped from slavery and became millionaires. So it's always great to get that inspiration from my ancestors. Lenny's newsletter is always great for all things product, and at Kanika Tover on Twitter for career transformation, especially if you are looking to start or advance your career in technology. So check out some of these resources. I'll make sure to leave these for you so you can access them later. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much for joining this presentation. You can follow me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/Britney Morgan Consulting and on Twitter at Mob and Mama. Make sure you follow me there and then join me for the Q&A and live interaction. I'm looking forward to answering any of your questions. Thank you.